guys, video number 2 here. Today I'm going to show you single leg movements, which is my second type of workout that I love doing with my clients. And the reason I am showing you single leg movements is because we do majority of our things with one leg, such as walking, running, jogging. If you're playing basketball, you're going up for a layup with one leg. We're going to work superset, so that is an agonist versus an antagonist muscle. For instance, I'm going to show you a quad dominant muscle and superset that with a hamstring dominant muscle. Like I said, you want to prevent injuries, prevent it as much as possible, so you want to balance those muscles out. All right, guys, so let's dig into the first movement. The first movement is going to be more quad dominant. Like I said, we're supersetting today, so we're going to focus on a quad dominant, then superset it with the hamstring dominant. So the first movement is a single leg box sit, or you can call it a single leg chair sit, your choice. What you're going to do is get the balance in this left leg. You want to make sure that you're keeping your core engaged, keeping the glute engaged, and your quad engaged. So what you're going to do, kick this right foot straight out. You don't want to use that leg at all. Put your hands wherever it's comfortable. You can have them here, here, in the air. I prefer here. You're going to control yourself all the way down. Once you get there, contract this quad. You're going to contract the glute automatically. Keep that core engaged. Come straight back up. Again, it looks like this. Control down. Come right back up. Back.
As you may notice when performing this single leg squat or box sit, that you are required to use a lot of control and stability. And also when doing a single leg squat, you are firing up smaller muscles that you don't usually pay attention to when doing a bilateral squat. And again, single leg squats make you less prone to injuries as well.
This one is a single leg Romanian deadlift. It takes a lot of balance and control. So some people who don't have the balance may need a stick for balance or use the wall for balance. What you want to do is get this left foot set, whichever foot you're starting with. You want to make sure your core is always engaged. That helps you control your balance. Once you come down, you want your back flat. You want to try to get your leg as straight as possible. And notice here that I'm not using as much knee bending. I'm using more of a hip hinge. So you're going to touch the toe or touch as far as you can before you come up. You want to contract the hamstring, contract the glute, power up. Keep that core engaged. Again, you're using more of a hip hinge, less of a knee hinge. Try to get as straight as possible. You want to feel that stretch in the hamstring, contract that glute, power up.
And again, this movement takes a lot of coordination and balance. Here you are activating muscles from the hip all the way down until the foot. Right here, you are teaching the athlete or a general client how to perform a proper hip hinge. Predominantly, you are focusing on the lower body. So for the first primary muscle would be the hamstrings, then the glutes, the quads, the calves, all the way down to the foot. However, you are also focusing on the upper body, especially the core. That's how you're going to stay balanced. You're also working posterior muscles in the back as well. This movement also takes a lot of focus. If you are not focused during this movement, your stability will be extremely off and you have to regain that focus. And lastly, just like any movement, as you power up, you want to make sure you're squeezing the glute every time you come home.
Now, the third movement is an isolated box step up. The reason I call it isolated is because we're focusing on strengthening this one leg. We're not trying to push off on this left leg that's on the ground. So before we even step up, you want to contract the core. That's going to help you stay balanced and get yourself up. Contract this quad, that's the muscle we're trying to strengthen, and this glute. So the reason we're going to engage the glutes, we're going to have a slight bend forward. That's going to help us get up as well. So here, all you're doing, slowly contracting this leg, coming up slowly. Bow, we're at the top. Before you come down, make sure everything is still engaged. You want to control yourself down. Control, control, control. So again, before you do that, you want to make sure the quad is contracted, glutes contracted, core is engaged. And the reason we are going slow and control is because we're focusing on strengthening this leg.
Now, this movement improves your symmetry and balance. Just like every other movement before this, you're working unilaterally and building strength in that single leg. And just like the prior movements, this step up increases your squat and deadlift strength and also increases your explosiveness in anything that you're doing. Like the prior movements, this movement builds your quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves, as well as building the strength and stability in your hips, your knee joints, and your ankle joints. And again, you want to perform this stuff up slow and controlled so that you're focused on engaging that quad, that glute, and then hamstring, and your core as well.
Alright guys, so the last and final movement is an incline glute bridge, and previously we did the isolated box step ups, which targeted more of the quads. So now we're going to focus on the hamstring. Now, since this is an incline glute bridge, of course it's targeting your glutes predominantly, but those hamstrings take part in that as well. So what we're going to do is get set. One foot is here on the bench, the other one in the air. What you're going to do before you even start is contract this core. So you're going to tuck that under, butt is up. And what you're going to do before you even power up, make sure core is engaged, glute is engaged, and hamstring is engaged. And what you're going to do, power straight up. Notice how my body is evenly distributed, it's aligned. You're having tension in the glute and the quad. So what you're going to do is control down. And if you want to target more of the hamstring, put your foot all the way on the bench. That's going to put more tension on the hamstring. Power up just like you just did. Hold it there. You should feel the tension there and there. Control down. Make sure you keep everything tight throughout the whole set.
Again, we are focusing on single leg strength, and this movement here, which is the hip thrust, improves your optimal hip extension. Now, the optimal hip extension is about the power in your glutes. This is amongst the most powerful muscle group in your body. For example, in terms of basketball, the athletes are going up for layup, which requires a lot of glute activation. And the secondary muscle for this hip thrust is the hamstring.
So we made it to the end. I gave you guys 4 of my favorite single leg movements. Like I said, every day we're walking, jogging, running, playing a sport, and that focuses more on single leg strength. This exercise also shows you imbalances in between the 2 legs. As you can see throughout the full set, that my right leg was pretty dominant over my left. So that's a good way to build a balance in between these 2 legs. Also, I am having my own website put up soon, so be on the lookout for that. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. That's where most of my videos are, Facebook and Instagram. Also, the type of work training I do, ladies will love it. I focus more on glute activation and core engagement. So hit me up for personal training. Thank you.
Body cold, and I'm so, and I so, and my clothes.